There's a run on for Cascarino here, he's onside, and Erland Johnsen made up some ground but didn't have the strength really. Tony Cascarino beaten away by Besant, followed in by Gordon Cowans, and Aston Villa have scored. Cascarino has made it, Cowans has scored it. A terrific start for Villa. They're delighted, understandably. And Cascarino hammered it at goal. Besant couldn't hold it, and flying in was Cowans, who did very well to control his contact with the ball to guide it into the net. It was a good touch on the ball on the stretch by Cowans to get the goal.
I think most people in football would have fancied Liverpool to win this afternoon at home against Nottingham Forest, who've taken only 1 point out of the previous 21 available. Ronny Rosenthal put Liverpool ahead. Steve McMahon got another after 15 minutes, 2 minutes after Rosenthal's. But Nottingham Forest, with 2 goals in the second half, got a point. Steve Hodge and Nigel Jemson. Liverpool with a game in hand, but their lead only 1 point now. Should be quite a match. Next Wednesday, Liverpool away to Arsenal. Forest have taken 2 points now from their last 24, but a much encouraging result for them at Anfield this afternoon.
Steve Coppell has promised that Crystal Palace's cup finalists won't ease up in the league, but then they can hardly afford to at the moment, with points still needed to be sure of survival. There were 2 early setbacks to contend with against Arsenal, of which Martin Hayes' 15th minute goal was arguably the lesser. Hayes scored after Lee Dixon's shot had been parried by Nigel Martin, but Andy Thorne, in trying to stop Hayes scoring, damaged ankle ligaments and had to be carried off. Significant blow with the cup final just 4 weeks away. As Liverpool found out to their cost at Villa Park, a 1-0 half-time lead against Palace is no guarantee of success. A familiar face was involved in this latest comeback. Andy Gray, who scored to force extra time last weekend, scored late again to force a draw here.
A draw at Luton rather undermined Everton's late UEFA Cup bid. They brought it on themselves though, behind to Ian Dowie's goal inside 3 minutes. Avoidable to say the least. If only Everton's away form had been better, they may still conceivably have had the European Cup in their sights still. Dowie had scored again by half-time. But Everton certainly deserves something out of the game, and Tony Cotty's back in the mood to take whatever's on offer. Stuart McCall offering him space and time at the conclusion of a sweet move. Lovely goal. It got better too. Beagrie picking out Graham Sharp as if he were the only man in the box. Bet Luton are glad they put a man on the line.
There were times at White Hart Lane when you had to rub your eyes to make sure they weren't deceiving you. Was that really Gary Lineker missing the target from 6 yards? Mind you, Lineker wasn't the only one whose sights were off in the early stages of a thoroughly entertaining game. Paul Allen scored twice against Forest last week, but then he probably wouldn't rank heading as his greatest asset. Coventry's opening goal was as hard to get your head around as Lineker's earlier miss. It was credited to David Smith, who took the corner, although Eric Torsvet had just as big a part to play. The Tottenham goalkeeper blamed this one on the windy conditions. Torsvet was then a helpless spectator as Spurs continued to struggle from set pieces. Kevin Gallagher with the corner from the other side, almost forcing an own goal before David Speedy profited amid the chaos. Coventry 2 up with 32 minutes gone. Fortunately for Tottenham, they had 3 key factors in their favour. 1, Coventry were no better at defending from corners. 2, Lineker doesn't let his head drop if he misses an easy chance. He just gets into position for the next one. And 3, Paul Stewart is in spellbinding form at the moment. Stewart's fourth in successive matches, a true goal of the season contender, and well worth seeing again. Spurs level, and with more or less the whole of the second half to seek a winner. It came with 20 minutes left, yet another corner, yet another typical poacher's goal from Lineker. His 22nd league goal of the season, securing Tottenham's fourth win in a row.
Saunders anxious to get on with it. Played up to Forsyth. Harford! Oh, that's a classic big man's header, that is. That's what they bought him for. Williams standing over the free kick. Saunders, and Harford again! In off the post. And with half an hour to go, it looks bad for Millwall.
Millwall's defeat sees them relegated, and Charlton are on the brink of joining them after being overwhelmed in the first half at the Dell. That was Neil Ruddock's first league goal in almost 8 months. The next one took only another 12 minutes to arrive. Matthew Le Tissier, the provider, defending set pieces, a clear issue across the First Division this weekend. Southampton proved just as adept at scoring from open play. Rob Wallace running clear to set up Jimmy Case for their 64th goal in the top flight this season, a total only Liverpool can match. Charlton, by contrast, are the First Division's lowest scorers, and that's the key reason their 4-year stay is on the verge of ending. Andy Jones's goal early in the second half was only their 28th in 34 league games. Jones has got 4 of them, and he's still the club's 3rd highest scorer this season. They do score the odd cracker though, even if they don't get anywhere near enough. Ruddock's handball with just over 25 minutes to go, giving Tommy Caton the opportunity to score his first goal in more than a year. But they couldn't find an equaliser, and defeat at home to Wimbledon on Tuesday will confirm Charlton's relegation.
Queen's Park Rangers then with the early pot shots. Justin Channing, and not against the early run of play. Now, I first saw Mark Robbins at Norwich during United's winter of discontent. Inconspicuous is putting it kindly. There again, the ball hardly ever reached the Norwich box, and that's the territory where Robbins goes about his business. There's nothing you can teach him about goal scoring. But his awareness and understanding, appreciation of what's going on around him is not yet an art form, but the signs are there. Neil Webb got the winner at Loftus Road, courtesy of Robbins.
City had gone 6 games without defeat and almost got the opening goal against Sheffield Wednesday through David White, off the line by McCall. City did score midway through the first half. Peter Reid showing a level of class above the bottom of the division. Mark Ward's cross, Niall Quinn's second goal for the club. McCall there, number 11, was playing his first league game for more than a year after a series of knee operations, and his was Wednesday's best effort in the first half. Dibble at full stretch here in injury time at the break. The equaliser came on 69 minutes, McCall again involved, setting up his apparently identical twin Trevor Francis playing against his old club. And it's David Hurst who pops in his 14th goal of the season. A break from inside their own half brought City's winner, White running 60 yards to set up the substitute Adrian Heath, and the ball deflected in off Peter Shirtliff's arm. No wins in 4 matches for Wednesday. Manchester City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
There's more than one way to score from a free kick. Here's the Norwich approach. Subtle dink over the top. Smart run round the back from Mark Bowen. Neat finish. Stylish goal, very much in keeping with the club's footballing philosophy. And here's the Wimbledon approach. Route 1 from Hans Sagers, seeking out defensive aerial weaknesses, win the second ball and get it onto John Fashionu's head. Whichever approach you prefer, they both ended up counting the same here. Nothing on the day to separate Wimbledon and Norwich, both ensconced in mid-table.